Hello, thebeard.be, Filip and Ilja, the beard and
The not beard.
the not beard. Okay. We got on launch from Microsoft Belgium two Microsoft Surface devices. I would say they're laptops, but they're not. They're tablets, but they're not. They're hybrids, I guess. We've been working on them. We've been trying to get the feel of it. As a prerequisite, Ilja is a Mac user, I am a Linux user, and we are both power users. First impressions on the hardware and on Windows, because we're both not Windows users.
So yeah, the hardware is absolutely great. I would say it's even better than Apple's hardware because they're using magnesium instead of aluminum. So the hardware is perfect. It's the best you can get. But I think the biggest problem they have is their software. So
and for you, the battery life, because in hardware-wise, there's something wrong with the battery on this device.
yeah, first of all, they say this is about, what was it, 16 hours of battery life?
Yeah, something like that.
Which isn't true. I get about, let's say, 8 hours of battery life, which is pretty good.
This one is about 3,000 euros.
When it came out, it was about 3,000 euros. But
Now
now it's like 2,600. It's
Okay.
about 1.5 year old.
Okay.
This hardware.
This one is about, I think it's about 1,300 without the little pen, because that's an extra of 100 euro, 90 euros. You have the screen cover that is also extra. You have to buy that separately also. So I think in total this is a $1,500 euro machine. This is about, if you add the pencil, then it's about
2,700.
2,700. My first impressions was that okay, it works pretty well. It has a fast startup time. The keyboard cover is actually very good for being so light, being so thin. I mean, this thing is super
Yeah,
thin.
the keyboards are good.
The keyboard is really good. I've been using a while Windows just to test it out as a daily driver. Not for doing heavy lifting. I did not do for the processing or any Photoshop or anything. You try to use it with Capture One.
Yep.
We'll come back to that in a bit. Battery life on this one is good, but not exceptional. I mean, just doing email and watching some YouTube and doing some browsing around, I got around 6 to 7 hours of battery life, which is a lot less than they claim, because it's been said that the battery life is going 8 to 9 hours on playing video. I think that browsing and sending mails is less intensive than playing videos.
Yeah, but it's typical that battery life isn't what you expect it is. You know, they
okay.
say it's this many hours, but really it's like half.
Yeah, okay, but still. I did not do anything on this, and I mean,
Yes,
tablets can go
You're
longer
getting
than
6
this.
hours out of this.
Yes, 6 hours out of a tablet, that's not enough.
Okay, I can agree.
Then we come to the software. There is a lot of annoyance with the software. The main remark is that Windows isn't ready to be used as a tablet interface.
Yeah, you would think it's Windows on their own hardware, but it isn't better on their own Microsoft devices than it is on another laptop.
Yeah, indeed. For example, it's quite a... Sometimes it detects that you go into tablet mode, sometimes it doesn't. And if you go into tablet mode, there are like some strange things happening, like orientation takes a while to get in to realize that it's changing.
But yeah, it's just unstable in general in tablet mode. So yeah, like you said it, you wouldn't use tablet mode because it isn't really very usable. I mean, it's usable, but it's unstable.
Yeah, I do love when it's in laptop mode and you have the touch screen and you can scroll with your fingers or click on things with your on screen. That is absolute for me. It's a time saver. Not on this device because the distance from your keyboard to your screen is bigger.
Yeah, it's a bit too much.
In this case, if I'm sitting here and I'm just Working, I'm from a decent distance from the screen. I have an easy distance to type and to use a trackpad, but I can also very easily use the screen. If you do that on that one, then you're overreaching every time when you go to the screen, which is, the distance there is too big. So on the small one, absolutely, when you use it as a hybrid, then I think it's very, very useful, but just tablet mode is not good for me. One of the first things that we tried was doing some post-processing of photos on the event.
Yeah, what is...
Vanilla, clean install, just delivered. The only thing that we did was install Capture One on it.
And after 15 minutes, my Capture One...
50 or 15?
15 minutes.
15
after
minutes.
15 minutes, my Capture One just crashed. Okay, fine. And then like 5 minutes later, I got a blue screen.
Yeah.
And then it crashed again.
And that was even before you took off like tablet mode and all that kind of stuff. You didn't do anything special with the device?
No, I think I was on tablet mode.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the first time it crashed, it was on tablet mode. Then I had the blue screen, it was just in its normal mode. And then I think Windows just has too many stability issues.
Okay. I tried also to give this device to my girlfriend with a pencil. She's a drawing artist, so she prefers drawing on paper, and she doesn't like drawing on a Wacom tablet or anything that's not connected under the screen, under the device where she's drawing. So I thought, okay, let's see if this works for her. And as soon as we got into like the programs to draw, there's quite a latency with the pencil. It's not big, but it's too big to notice for her, to not notice for her, and to not be as fluent as she's been drawing on paper.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a latency, so I've noticed that myself, but I would think it's usable for professional drawing.
Well, she was...
But I've tried out the iPad Pro. I mean, you have to compare those two, right?
Well, they're not the same device, but they're aimed at the same
but
people.
for drawing, like the iPad Pro is way better.
Okay.
It doesn't. It even has direction, not just pressure, but also direction.
Okay. Yeah, that's indeed.
So I think if you would buy this for professional drawing, I would maybe take the iPad Pro or go for a Wacom tablet.
So I've been using it for daily tasks. It is okay, but it keeps nagging a lot, and the facial recognition is a nice gimmick, but it's...
Yeah, if I take off my hat, it doesn't recognize me.
Same angle?
I would say Windows Hello works like 2 out of 3 times. So
for me it was less. For me it was like 4 out of 10.
Okay.
So that's... For me it wasn't usable, and I quickly tried to abandon it and just use
I
the
turned it
pin
off
code.
completely.
Yeah.
I just started... I use my password now because...
Yeah, okay. So that's not usable. For the rest, I did experience some weird behavior with crashes and stuff like that. Also, I lost like 2 or 3 times the Wi-Fi connection without reason.
I had problems too with Wi-Fi.
And then, as we said, tablet mode isn't ready yet.
I also had problems with Bluetooth. Like I use a separate speaker for sound, and just every day it would lose its Bluetooth connection like once or twice a day.
Okay.
That's
I did
really
not try it
irritating.
out with Bluetooth. So then we thought like, okay, maybe because the hardware is really nice and looks really good, let's try to install Linux on it.
I would say it's possible to put Linux on it, but so I think it would be unreasonable to buy this kind of hardware to then put Linux in it, because you're basically losing a lot of features that you're paying for.
Well, actually, it is supposed to. There's like custom kernels, and it is supposed to be working once you have those custom kernels installed. But you had problems with detaching. You had problems with the touchscreen.
So the battery that goes down when you
that's
when
a
you sleep.
very strange thing in your case.
Yeah, in my case, if I do heavy tasks that takes a lot of GPU power, like video editing or even playing games, even when it's connected to the power, it drains the battery.
Yeah, that's
so
strange.
after 1 hour, your battery drains so much that everything that uses your GPU just crashes.
Okay.
and you basically also lost everything unless you have like autosave on, and that's really annoying. Just imagine if you're on a job and you have to do
Yeah, no.
a lot of work right now, but your computer just
Well, basically, the conclusion is it is a really nice device. It is okay, but we can't rely on it.
yep.
Oh, we forgot one thing. Your biggest gripe with current computers at the moment? Ports.
Yeah, this has all the ports you need basically, so that's good.
That one has it. This one doesn't. This one basically has one USB-A port and one micro SD card reader, which
Yeah,
is
that's for me that's literally unusable. I need more ports. That's it.
well, the ports I could be okay with, but where they have put the micro SD card reader is in the back here, and basically you could put in there a normal SD card reader,
Yeah.
because you can read micro SD cards with a normal SD card reader, but you can't read normal SD cards with a micro SD card
no
reader.
cameras or professional equipment that's used to record stuff.
No, it's using micro SD,
Yeah.
except for certain drones and GoPros.
Yeah.
All the rest is indeed at
But
least
if you
SD.
if you need a micro SD, you have an adapter for just normal SD cards. So
Yes,
it's
yeah.
better to have a large one. So
Yeah, indeed. And I don't think that is such a space-saving issue
yeah.
that they couldn't have.
So this one does
installed.
have an SD card reader, and it's even a fast one, so that's good.
Basically, they're really nice devices with a couple of shortcomings, but the most important part is that because of the software on it, we can't rely on it, and we can't take it out to clients to work on it, especially with the battery issue that you had. That is for us is just a showstopper. So overall conclusion about the Surface laptops,
Yeah,
hybrids.
so long story short, the hardware is brilliant, but I think it's really sad that the software isn't up to par. I think it needs a lot of work, and it's more of the old Windows things that are holding it back. I think they need to redo the whole software, and it really has a lot of potential, and I can see it, but it's just sad that it isn't really
Yeah.
up to par.
Yeah, I was very convinced about it like the first 2 weeks, and then I started getting like little annoyances in the software of Windows again, and the nagging started annoying me, and I noticed that I got way more limited than I usually am on my Linux device, but that might just be because I know my Linux better than my Windows nowadays.
There aren't many good things I can say about Windows right now. Like, I see it improving a lot, but it's just unstable and unreliable. I literally can't use it. That's the biggest thing that's holding back this hardware. That's the old, outdated software that's on there.
This one, if this one would cost less than €1,000, I would say, okay, I buy it to replace my 2012, which is a 7-year-old laptop now. I would buy it and even do a dual boot Linux Windows and use basically a daily driver, probably Windows. But I think for €1,500 you can get a better device that is less hybrid and more adapted at the tasks that we are doing.
It's clear that these devices are aimed at professional people, I would say, right? But it doesn't. It has a lot of reliability issues.
So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, come back when we have a new video, and for the rest I'm just going to leave you.
All right.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.